Have you ever noticed how getting out of bed in the morning takes just a little longer than it used to? Or maybe you've caught yourself hesitating before bending down to pick something up off the floor? I know exactly how that feels, and I'm here to tell you that stiffness and limited mobility don't have to be your constant companions as you move through your 60s and beyond. Hello there, and welcome to today's video. I'm so glad you've joined me as we explore something that makes a world of difference in our quality of life as we age, maintaining our mobility. I'm a firm believer that age is just a number, and with the right approach, we can keep doing the activities we love well into our golden years. You know, I remember chatting with Martha, one of my dear friends who just turned 72 last month. She told me how for years she'd accepted the idea that stiffness and limited range of motion were just part of getting older. But after incorporating some simple stretching routines into her daily life, she was amazed at how much more freely she could move. Last week, she even helped her grandchildren plant a garden. All that bending, kneeling, and reaching that would have seemed impossible just months ago. That's exactly why I've created this video. Today, I'm going to share 5 wonderful stretches that can help you maintain and even improve your mobility after 60. These aren't complicated yoga poses or exercises that require special equipment. They're simple, gentle stretches you can do right in your living room, many even from a chair if needed. The best part? Each one takes just a minute or two, but the benefits to your body can last all day long. Before we dive in, I want to remind you of something important. We're all different, with unique bodies and health considerations. What works wonderfully for one person might need to be modified for another. So as we go through these stretches, remember to listen to your body. Never push to the point of pain. And if you have any specific health concerns or conditions, it's always wise to check with your healthcare provider before starting any new movement routine. Now let's talk about why stretching becomes even more critical as we enter our 60s and beyond. As we age, our muscles naturally tend to lose some elasticity. Connective tissues like tendons and ligaments can become less flexible, and our range of motion gradually decreases. This isn't just about feeling stiff. It can affect everything from our balance and posture to our ability to perform everyday tasks independently. The good news? Regular stretching can significantly slow this process. It helps maintain joint flexibility, improves circulation, and can even reduce the risk of falls by enhancing balance. Plus, there's that wonderful feeling of relief when a tight muscle finally releases, something many of us find ourselves craving more often these days. All right, let's get started with our first mobility boosting stretch. We'll begin with one of my personal favorites, the gentle neck release. This one is perfect for easing tension that builds up in the neck and shoulders, whether from looking down at books or devices, or simply from the stresses of daily life. Sit comfortably in a chair with your feet flat on the floor, spine tall but not rigid. Let your shoulders relax away from your ears. Sometimes we don't even realize we're holding them up. Now, gently tilt your right ear toward your right shoulder, only going as far as feels comfortable. You should feel a gentle stretch along the left side of your neck, but no pain. To deepen the stretch slightly, you can rest your right hand on the left side of your head, not pulling, just adding a small amount of weight. Hold for about 15 to 30 seconds, breathing deeply, then slowly return to center and repeat on the other side. What I love about this stretch is how it releases tension we often don't even realize we're carrying. And when your neck moves more freely, everything from checking blind spots while driving to looking up at birds in the trees becomes easier and more enjoyable. Now let's move on to our second stretch, which targets an area many of us find particularly troublesome as we age, the shoulders. I call this one the doorway stretch, and it's wonderful for opening up the chest and improving shoulder mobility. Essential for everything from reaching items on high shelves to giving proper hugs to those grandchildren. For this stretch, you'll need a doorway. Stand in the doorway with your arms raised to about shoulder height, elbows bent at 90 degrees, and palms resting on the doorframe. Your position should look something like a football goalpost. With one foot slightly forward for stability, gently lean your body forward through the doorway until you feel a comfortable stretch across your chest and the front of your shoulders. Hold for about 15 to 30 seconds, breathing deeply, then slowly return to your starting position. You can repeat this 2 to 3 times. If standing in a doorway isn't convenient or comfortable for you, you can modify this by sitting tall in a chair. Bring your arms up into that same goalpost position, then gently press your elbows back while keeping your spine straight. You'll feel a similar opening across the chest and shoulders. This stretch is particularly important because as we age, many of us develop a more forward hunched posture, which can restrict breathing and contribute to back pain. By regularly opening up the chest and shoulders, we help counteract this tendency and maintain a more upright, comfortable posture. Let's move on to our third stretch, which focuses on an area critical for everyday movement, the hips. Hip mobility affects everything from how easily we can in and out of cars to our ability to climb stairs or simply walk comfortably. This seated hip opener is gentle but effective at maintaining flexibility in this important area. Sit toward the front half of a sturdy chair with your feet flat on the floor. Cross your right ankle over your left knee, creating a figure 4 shape with your legs. Keep your right foot flexed to protect your knee. If this position alone provides enough of a stretch, simply hold here, sitting tall and breathing deeply for 15 to 30 seconds. If you'd like to deepen the stretch, slowly lean forward from the hips, not rounding your back, until you feel a comfortable stretch in your right hip. Hold, breathe, then uncross and repeat with the left ankle over the right knee. I find that this hip stretch not only helps with mobility, but can provide relief for those of us who experience occasional sciatic pain or lower back discomfort. Our hips carry so much tension from sitting, standing, and walking, and giving them this gentle release can make a world of difference in how we move throughout our day. Now, let's move on to our fourth stretch, which focuses on an area many of us tend to overlook, the ankles and feet. Strong, flexible ankles are crucial for balance and preventing falls, something that becomes increasingly important as we age. I call this exercise the ankle alphabet, and it's one you can do anytime you're sitting down, whether watching television or reading a book. Sit comfortably in a chair with your feet flat on the floor. Lift your right foot slightly off the ground and slowly trace each letter of the alphabet with your big toe, moving only your ankle and foot, not your entire leg. Try to make the letters as large and clear as you can, really exploring your full range of motion. The movements may feel small, but they're working all those tiny muscles and tendons that help keep your ankle stable when you walk on uneven surfaces. After you've gone through all 26 letters, or at least 10 to 15 if that feels more manageable, switch to your left foot and repeat. What I love about this exercise is how it combines mobility work with gentle strengthening. Your ankles are getting more flexible while also building the control needed for confident, balanced movement. Plus, there's something wonderfully meditative about focusing on tracing each letter. It's a moment of mindfulness in your day. The fifth and final stretch I want to share with you today is perhaps the most important of all, the gentle back extension. Our backs tend to round forward as we age, both from natural changes in our spine and from spending time looking down at books, devices, or crafts. This simple stretch helps counteract that forward curve, relieving back tension and helping maintain good posture. For this one, you'll want to stand tall with your feet hip-width apart, knees soft, not locked. Place your hands on your lower back, fingers pointing downward, with your elbows pointing behind you. Using your hands as support, gently arch your upper back, looking slightly upward. Think about lifting your chest toward the ceiling rather than throwing your head back. Hold for just 5 to 10 seconds, then return to your starting position. You can repeat this 2 to 3 times. If standing isn't comfortable for you, you can do a modified version sitting in a chair. Sit toward the front of your seat, feet flat on the floor. Place your hands on your lower back for support and gently arch your upper back, drawing your shoulders back and down. Again, think about lifting your chest rather than tilting your head too far back. This back extension is especially valuable because it helps counteract the forward-leaning posture many of us develop over time. When our back muscles are stronger and more flexible, everything from standing to walking to reaching becomes easier and more comfortable. And there's a confidence that comes with standing tall. It affects not just how we move, but how we feel about ourselves. Now that we've gone through all 5 stretches, let's talk about how to incorporate them into your daily routine. The beauty of these stretches is their simplicity. They don't require any special equipment or a significant time commitment. You might choose to do all 5 first thing in the morning to ease overnight stiffness, or perhaps you'll spread them throughout your day as little movement breaks. I found that linking these stretches to daily habits can make them easier to remember. Perhaps you do your neck stretch each time you sit down for a meal, or your ankle alphabet while watching the evening news. The seated hip opener might become part of your routine when you sit down with your morning coffee. When we connect these movements to activities we already do every day, they're much more likely to become lasting habits. Consistency is far more important than intensity when it comes to maintaining mobility. 5 minutes of gentle stretching daily will yield better results than an hour-long session once a week. Your body responds beautifully to regular, gentle attention, something I've witnessed not only in my own life, but in the lives of so many people I've worked with over the years. I want to share a quick story about my friend Robert, who started incorporating these stretches after his 65th birthday. He'd been noticing increasing stiffness, especially when playing with his grandchildren. After just a few weeks of daily stretching, never more than 10 minutes at a time, he told me he was able to get down on the floor to build block towers with his 4-year-old grandson, and more importantly, get back up again without assistance. These simple movements had given him back precious moments of connection with his family. Something else I'd like to mention about these stretches is that they're not just good for your physical health. They're wonderful for your mental well-being too. Taking these few minutes to focus on your body, to breathe deeply, and move mindfully can be a form of moving meditation. It's a chance to check in with yourself, notice how you're feeling, and give yourself the care you deserve. In our busy lives, even at retirement age, these moments of self-care can be truly precious. One question I often hear is, when is the best time to stretch? The answer is that there's no single best time. It's whatever works consistently for you. Some people find that morning stretching helps them start the day with less stiffness and more energy. Others prefer to stretch in the evening to release the tensions of the day. And many find that taking short stretch breaks throughout the day works best for them. The key is finding what fits naturally into your life and what feels good for your unique body. As we wrap up our discussion of these 5 essential stretches, I want to encourage you to be patient and gentle with yourself as you begin incorporating them into your routine. Flexibility and mobility improve gradually over time, not overnight. Some days you might feel more limited than others, and that's perfectly normal. What matters is the overall trend, the small improvements that add up to significant changes in how you move and feel. Remember that maintaining mobility isn't about achieving perfect flexibility or moving exactly like you did in your 30s or 40s. It's about supporting your body to move comfortably through your daily activities, to maintain your independence, and to continue doing the things that bring you joy. Whether that's gardening, dancing, playing with grandchildren, traveling, or simply being able to tie your own shoes with ease. These stretches are tools to help you live life on your own terms. I believe so strongly in the power of these simple movements because I've seen their impact not just in my own life, but in the lives of countless others. Mobility truly is a gift, and with a little consistent attention, it's a gift we can give ourselves every day. Now, I'd like to address a few common concerns I hear when talking about stretching and mobility with people our age. First, many ask, what if I feel pain during these stretches? This is such an important question. Remember that stretching should feel like a gentle tension, perhaps a mild pulling sensation, but never sharp or intense pain. If you do experience pain, ease back immediately. Reduce the range of motion, apply less pressure, or try a modified version of the stretch. And if pain persists, that's your body's signal that something needs attention. Perhaps a conversation with your healthcare provider. Another question that often comes up is, how do I know if I'm making progress? Unlike some forms of exercise where you might track specific numbers, progress with stretching can be more subtle but equally meaningful. Perhaps you notice you can reach a bit further when grabbing something from a high shelf. Maybe getting in and out of the car feels a little smoother. Or perhaps you realize you haven't felt that familiar morning stiffness quite as intensely lately. These are all beautiful signs that your body is responding to your consistent care. I keep a small journal by my bedside where I occasionally jot down notes about how my body feels and moves. Nothing elaborate, just simple observations like, reached top shelf without shoulder pinch today, or got up from garden without using hands. These little victories might seem small, but they're powerful reminders of how our bodies respond when we give them regular attention. Some of you may be wondering whether these stretches are enough on their own, or if you should be doing other types of exercise as well. While these 5 stretches are wonderful for maintaining mobility, I'm a big believer in a well-rounded approach to movement as we age. If possible, combining these stretches with some form of cardiovascular exercise, like walking or swimming, and some gentle strength training, creates a beautiful foundation for long-term health and independence. That said, if you're just beginning your movement journey or returning after a period of inactivity, these stretches are a perfect place to start. They're gentle, accessible, and can be done by most people regardless of fitness level. Begin where you are, celebrate small improvements, and gradually build from there. I want to mention something that's made a significant difference in my own stretching routine. Breathing. How we breathe during stretching can profoundly affect our experience and results. When you move into each stretch, take a moment to settle, then breathe deeply and slowly. As you exhale, you might find you can ease a bit deeper into the stretch. This isn't about pushing or forcing. Rather, it's about using your breath as a tool to help your muscles relax and release. There's actually some fascinating science behind this. When we hold our breath or breathe shallowly during stretching, our muscles tend to tense up as a protective response. But when we breathe deeply and rhythmically, we send signals of safety to our nervous system, allowing our muscles to release more fully. I find it helpful to count my breaths during each stretch, perhaps holding for 3 to 5 deep breaths rather than watching the clock for seconds. Speaking of time, many people ask me how long they should hold each stretch. While I gave some general guidelines earlier, about 15 to 30 seconds for most stretches, the truth is that the right duration varies from person to person and stretch to stretch. Some areas of your body might benefit from slightly longer holds, while others feel best with briefer stretches repeated several times. This is another opportunity to listen to your body and discover what works best for you. I've known people who prefer very gentle longer holds of 45 to 60 seconds, and others who find that 10 to 15 second holds repeated several times work better for them. Your body is wonderfully unique, and part of this journey is learning its language and preferences. Another tip that served me well over the years is to be mindful of the time of day when stretching. Our bodies tend to be naturally stiffer in the morning, especially first thing after waking. If you choose to stretch in the morning, which can be wonderful for starting the day with greater ease, be particularly gentle and patient with yourself. You might find that you can't reach quite as far or bend quite as deeply as you can later in the day, and that's perfectly normal. Afternoon and evening stretching often allows for slightly greater range of motion, as our bodies have been moving throughout the day. Neither time is better than the other. They're simply different experiences for your body, and both can be beneficial in their own ways. Water is another often overlooked aspect of maintaining good mobility. Staying well hydrated helps keep our joints lubricated and our tissues supple. I keep a water bottle near my favorite stretching spot as a reminder to sip regularly throughout my stretching routine and throughout the day. It's a simple habit that supports everything else we're doing to maintain our mobility. As we move into our 60s, 70s, and beyond, I believe that our relationship with our bodies often becomes more meaningful and nuanced. We become more attuned to subtle changes, more appreciative of what our bodies can do, and perhaps more patient with limitations. Stretching is not just about physical maintenance. It's a way of staying in conversation with our bodies, of maintaining that important connection between mind and movement. I want to leave you with this thought. Mobility is freedom, the ability to move comfortably through your daily activities, to care for yourself, to engage in the hobbies and relationships that bring you joy. These are precious aspects of a fulfilling life at any age. The 5 stretches we've explored today are simple tools to help protect and nurture that freedom. I encourage you to start where you are with whatever mobility you currently have. Celebrate small victories. Be patient on difficult days. And most importantly, approach this practice with curiosity and kindness toward yourself. Your body has carried you faithfully through all these years of life. It deserves your gentle care and attention. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope these stretches bring more ease and freedom to your movements and your days. If you found this information helpful, please give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing to our channel for more content designed especially for living your best life after 60. I'd also love to hear about your experiences with these stretches in the comments below. Which one made the biggest difference for you? Do you have other favorite stretches you'd like to share with our community? Until next time, remember that movement is a gift we can give ourselves every day. Here's to staying mobile, independent, and joyfully active in the years ahead.